As this could be the last game of the series, I'm sure BlossoM would want to close this out 3-0 as they want to go up against GG next time.
Yep, they want to have the highest score possible to try to avoid Crucible matches. I don't know if they'll be able to do that, but Raven, on the other hand, absolutely will face Crucible. And so this is just going to be a learning experience for them. They will have first ban yet again, and we'll see if they try to go for another choke out here. This is a really strong Falstad map. You might just want to consider removing him. Nope, they're going to go with Varian again.
They also had a choice of banning out Zarya. But we see that instead of Varian getting played today, players are actually deciding to just ban out Varian instead. And it's actually going to be BlossoM taking, well, not yet, but it looks like it's going to be because BlossoM would actually prefer to have Zarya open just in case Raven actually does not choose Zarya for their first pick, and which is very likely, I would say.
Yeah. I just want to point out the priority for Hamlin for Falstad has been insanely low. He's played him only twice out of all of their games, which is now actually locking the Rhinos, which gives the Zarya, the Raven. But out of their now 14 games, he's played Falstad only twice. So I like the adjustment from BlossoM here. If they're not going to ban Zarya, don't ban Falstad. It's unlikely Raven is going to pick it in the first rotation.
Yeah, Doch had also played Falstad in the first game, which worked pretty well. He was soaking EXP at the right time, joining the team fight at the right moment. Very high chance of picking Falstad, and also Malfurion or ETC if they want to go towards that front line. Lots of heavy CCs.
Well, we know Malfurion fits into the puzzle. If they don't pick Malfurion, they've changed the world.
Malfurion fits into every single puzzle right at
That's
this
why
moment.
he's so strong. One of my most played heroes currently this season.
He's the masterpiece at the moment, and when Lucio comes in, it'll be a bit different.
We'll see the shake-up happen for sure. It's going to be Falstad and Dahaka, actually, so they are going to change the game. They're going to lock down globals. This gives Raven a pretty easy Malfurion Vala, I think, though. You know, like, these are two highly contested heroes. When you have Zarya on the table, Vala becomes pickable in this rotation, and they give away Malfurion, so there's a lot of lockdown, there's a lot of early game pressure and wave clear with this. I'd say lock him in right now. Why are they even thinking about it?
I think they're considering a Leeming into it because BlossoM did ban out Leeming when it got to their second ban rotation. I think that's one of the things. They had three big options, and they have to choose two. So at the time they're thinking of it. You're definitely correct, though.
This is one of the cool things about first pick is in this second phase, you kind of get 3 picks in a row. Not only do you have 3 picks, but you also get to deny your opponent from their next phase. So you're like, you've got this massive lead in this moment. So there's a lot more to think about, sure, than just to lock in immediately the Vala I want to see. Whoa, that is not even close to what I expected. The Muradin we've seen a lot from De Jong tonight. That'll be his 3rd consecutive game on him, but Thrall in this slot, they must have a bigger and deeper plan for Zarya than what we thought.
Yeah, and it is also a takeaway pick from Wiz, and there's the Vala, as you mentioned. They were trying to hide what's going to happen at the bottom, too.
I just feel like Raven wasn't even interested in Vala. If they were, they certainly would have picked her here, or this is a huge drafting mistake. I feel like you have to ban Vala as BlossoM, or else they will potentially take it, but Raven not taking here leads me to believe they have a different plan for Zarya entirely. The ETC ban is incredibly strong for the reasons we listed last time, but this time BlossoM has 2 globals, 2 hard globals in Dahaka and Falstad, so the ETC lock is pretty, it's not as scary. Also, this map is one of ETC's weaker maps because of the distance between lanes, and Malfurion comes in one of the latest he has ever come in here in Korea.
Yep, and because Raven went around instead of going towards the right, not the right direction, I would say, towards the direction where we usually see with Tychus and Malfurion. Thrall gets picked up for their 3rd pick.
All right, this has got to be a hammer pick, right? What is Zarya about right now? What is this? They like just pick Tyrael, they don't have any range. I'm like, okay. What's the plan here?
Sergeant Hammer would give them the push they actually want to with Zarya.
Nazebo! What? Their only range damage is Nazebo, and they're going to have a really strong push. This almost feels like a cheese comp, where they're just going to plow down a lane and then rotate. They're going to have a 4-man rotation. Thrall is going to be in the top lane. They're going to try to knock down mid towers, bot towers really early on. This is a bit wonky, G Club. I'm not really confident about this Nazebo pick. The last one feels like a damage counter type. It was Tomb of the Spider Queen where Nazebo gets most tanky. This map is the shortest map in the pool. You can't soak several lanes like Nazebo was able to do in the previous set. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I don't want to put it down, but I don't see a bright future for this draft right now.
Yeah, it looks like BlossoM is also confused at the moment. What is Raven trying to do? Also trying to think what are some options that Raven actually have right now. Earthquake along with 7-sided strike. Who knows what's going to happen? Along with Graviton Surge, who knows what's going to happen? But BlossoM is...
I think you just lock in Johanna here. Stitches, okay.
This is a match that you gotta watch.
This is definitely, based on the pictured player here, Dudu's face, not exactly how things were supposed to go, but it's tough, man. We've gone full EU. We got Stitches, we got the Nazebo. I feel like I'm just in Germany right now. Let's go into game number 3 to find out if this wonky draft is going to go better for BlossoM. They're up 2-0 in this series against Raven. Will Raven be able to take their first map of the tournament? I'm going to find out right now on Sky Temple. In blue, hey, stop those friendly hooks. Scarlet on Malfuria, Dudu on Tychus, Wiz on Dahaka, Judy on Stitches, and No Chat on Falstad.
And in red, Raven, Joju on Karazim, Hamlin on Zarya, NMX on Nazebo, Diong on Muradin, and H82 on Thrall.
So you can make some arguments for Johanna, right? I mean, he's going to stop Karazim's auto attacks, going to stop the auto attacks of Zarya that are really strong, and also will stop Thrall. So you kind of deny 3 big damage sources for Raven. Well, they go into Stitches, right? Now, they want the dampen magic. They're going to get the pick potential here as well. Look at that. Boom! Diong hooked right after he used his Dwarf Toss. He's going to go down. So you get hooks like that every time. A Stitches pick looks beautiful. But they could have also considered the Anubrite. Now, this is going to stop a lot of the grenade power coming out from Zarya. You know, she's not going to build that way, but that's going to remove some of that damage and also some of the, well, a lot of the damage of Nazebo. He does almost no damage in terms of autos. It's almost all completely ability power. So this is we'll be able to absorb a little bit of that with that.
Yeah,
damping.
the reason why we are wondering, and does get caught, rooted right on top. Karazim also 1+1, and then MX actually, they actually lose focus, which target to focus because they were actually going for 1, and then they caught 2. So that was a little bit messy there, but very nice try.
The duo in China that does this really well with 6 on Stitches is very reminiscent of this, where you have 6 in his support, which is very varied because the Chinese team roster apocalypse happen all the time, but sometimes it's Genomai, sometimes other supports. But anyway, they've really shown that in order to make a Stitches pick in the early game, you have to have him paired with Malfurion, and you have to pre-root. You have to have confidence in your Stitches to hit the hooks. If you wait until after the hook, sometimes the target can get saved. But if you pre-root right when the hook comes out, if you have that timing down, if you practice that kind of in secret, you just don't show it very often, it could be a really great asset. And we're seeing that already here for BlossoM in the early game.
Yeah, the reason why I was saying before Raven had a little bit of a funky draft is because they still had Leeming open. Even Gul'dan has super strong push power in this map, and we saw how wave clear can also force out the globals coming out, especially when BlossoM has 2 globals and Raven does not have any, and they do not even have too much of a great wave clear. They do have Zarya, but not as good as Gul'dan.
Yeah. Also, they're just not getting any value out of the early game Zarya that's usually so strong. They're going to take a slight edge, actually, on these temples for the time being. Going to get the last shots on both, it appears here. Good dodge here on the hook. But what's already happened to them EXP-wise, soak-wise, and in lanes is better for BlossoM. when you think about a Zarya, you think about what healer or what hero needs to be in the front lines to do extra damage and also help me build shields so that I do extra damage. You think about heroes like Vala. You think about heroes like Sergeant Hammer that if it gets in risky position, you can save him and then hurt those diving heroes, punish the diving heroes, just like in Overwatch. You know, if you're an Overwatch player, you know all about this. If Roadhog grabs one of your heroes, you put the bubble on him, you get that energy. Zarya's going to have to do that against Stitches here. He's basically Roadhog in this game if you want to put this in Overwatch terms. But
similar too.
But like, you don't have that damage dealer that's getting protected. You just have these heroes up at the front that do kind of slow damage. And that's why I was wondering, like, who's it going to be? I didn't think it was going to be Li Ming because she's hoping not to be in the front lines, right?
Yeah,
You're thinking of Vala. But she's banned, so they don't get that value.
That's right, and Joji gets super low, gets hooked, but it's zombie wall saving. It does not actually save Karazim at the end, but it's also protection that also gives herself the energy to do more damage later on. So everything just connects. So that's why we're also mentioning Sergeant Hammer in there during the draft. But with this draft, BlossoM just out-rotates, and they have the upper hand, almost a full level lead ahead.
Just last note. Oh, look, here's the bubble. This time self-cast. Not going to be enough to save Hamlin here, unfortunately, though. And Judy is really showing the power of Stitches right now. Dudu just trying to kite his way out. Will get out. There's the kill onto Nazeebo as well. And oh, man, I can't even believe I'm watching this happen. That should not have happened there. Dion getting caught. And it feels like Raven is just falling apart. The decision to not draft Vala in second rotation really, really hurt this draft. Like, I thought they had a different plan. I was like, oh, they were trying to bait the Vala ban. They've got a really solid plan here as to what they want to do, but it just doesn't feel like, whether they had a plan or not, A to B to C is not lining up.
Yep, their options are not on point, especially against the strong draft like BlossoM. I think they also wanted to go ahead and experience with that Stitches pick on Judy, and so far Stitch's hooks are on point. It's working great, especially against a comp like Raven. When you catch like Nazeebo or Zarya or Thrall, you can get picks just like that.
The body blocks, the follow-up CC, like the roots, the Dahaka grabs, I mean, everything has been on point. You could make an argument that Raven wanted to get the top lane kind of settled with the Thrall pick early, but this is one that I definitely I have to try to talk to Joju and H82 about, like, what was the thought process here, because I don't see it. I don't want to be critical, but what we have to tell you guys and not lie to you guys about is that what they've prioritized is not working, and Stitches is running all over them. And these two things lead to a bad time for Raven right now. It's 11-9. Level 10 so far away, it feels, for Raven right now as they try to soak bot.
Yeah, and they sent all 4 to soak bot only. And I know camp is available, but BlossoM has just so much global to actually harass and stop them from getting globals from the boss, especially when they are down. Oh, heroic, they don't even have a heroic available yet.
Oh, look at this too. They're gonna try to collapse here. No Chat comes in. Wiz is here as well. They're looking for the pick onto NMX, and it looks like they will get it. Shield here going to give Hamlin a lot of damage, but he's all alone, so it just doesn't matter. And that's 2 picks here for BlossoM.
2 picks plus camp plus boss. BlossoM can do whatever they want to at the moment.
You mentioned it, they showed 4 at bot, which means it's going to be an obvious boss very likely, but they don't have globals. They know BlossoM does, so they need to be ready for a rotation like this. They were not. Now they've split into soak. They've got HA2 getting some free soak top. They do get 10, but it's just too little, too late. They've lost the boss. They may lose both siege camps as well with this, as Stitches actually hasn't chosen his heroic yet. We may even see Gorge, which would be really fun.
I think Gorge is very likely here, as the CC chains are real.
It is. There it is. He's going to go for it. He picks it now, and he can actually do so much here. A nice palm actually onto Diong, but will it be enough? Doesn't look like it.
It's not enough, and this fight is all for this camp, and at the end BlossoM looks like they're the one taking this camp, and the Mex is trying to do some last bit of damage, but
3 heroics traded for 1 in favor of BlossoM. The boss pushing the entire time. They are going to get both camps, and then they can look to get both temples, at least initially, with the global they have in Falstad. And oh boy, here's the Gorge. Judy is going to go for a walk here with a full stomach. Hamlin's locked in. Big silence comes down. And that's the kill onto Zarya, and this is looking disastrous. No Chat comes in late to the party, but better late than never, as he's going to help them get the pick onto H82. And Raven.
Perfect hook on NMX. Then the best targets. First target Zarya, walking one, and then in the Zebo.
Oh, wait for it,
double
wait for it,
chase
wait for
right
it.
there.
He's going to go over the bridge. Going for it, here he comes.
Nice grab.
Looks like you kill him before it even happens. He's got the palm. Give me that hook, thread the needle. No.
Okay, sometimes when your teammates get caught just like that, you just have to, with Gorge, you just have to just abandon your teammates and just do whatever else you can do at the moment. And
that's how I know you're not a Contiest. That's how I know you're a utilitarian.
Yep, and then DeYoung actually went in all the way to save his teammate, and he made his decision at the moment, but that was not the best one, especially when No Chat could also fly over, and exactly what happened there.
Yep. Good recap. Let your teammates go if they get Gorge, especially if Stitches has Bolt. Don't let that happen. Oh, the friendly hook.
Yep, and with double globals, the Haka can soak top, and Falstad can be somewhere else. H82 trying to do some damage. I don't think he can punish Falstad by himself. Gust was used just now. Let's see what's going on at the bottom as Wiz just joined the team fight.
Expulsion zone here, trying to help out. H82 dies. It looks like in mid lane. I was actually looking at the talents right now, so I didn't even see where he died. I think off screen. No Chat flies in now. NMX is going to get the first one to be dead here. He gets cut off there. Big silence. The palms have been pretty good here for Joju, but it's not enough to turn the tide. No Chat will go down. Hamlet survives a little bit longer, but he should go down before he can get the kill onto Scarlet. DeYoung lives, well, not for very long, and now the remainder of these temples is going to go to BlossoM. Gets the kill there onto Joju. No retreat, and actually DeYoung does not escape. Look at that, into the root again. This is something that anyone who faces BlossoM for the rest of the tournament is going to have to keep in mind. Especially if they go into Crucible, it's like, watch out for the Stitches pick. Double Temple now, should secure a keep. They're getting extra soak, they're gonna get 16. And 16 kills to 1. This did not go well for Raven.
This looks close to be a disaster. If not, it is already for Raven. They are trying. I think they were trying to experiment their pick at the end. And also BlossoM having the Stitches pick. It doesn't seem like an experienced pick from what we've been seeing so far. And H82 alone on top gets blown up. No way to really contest on top.
Well, this seems to be the beginning of the end. Hamlin insanely low. Wiz survives there using the adaptation. Dudu will go down, so it's 1 for 1. They're actually looking for the pick on the No Chat off screen here as well, trying to get him down. Not going to happen though. Or actually, no, it does happen off screen. He does go down. And Ice Block used here. Maybe Raven could try to make this fight work. Hamlin's got a lot of energy here, and he's left to do some free damage.
And Twilight Dream does blow up map period. It almost looked like that to me at the moment. And Judy misses 2 hooks in a row. What in the world is happening?
That's why they're losing this fight now. As Joju will actually take the last of these temple shots while H82 goes bot lane to get some soak. That fight was definitely interesting.
Yeah,
No Chat kind of got out of position, and I know he died off screen, but he was basically charged upon and caught by Joju, who just, I mean, yes, he's a support, but right now, Karzim does a lot of damage to squishies like Falstad. Even Tychus, a little bit less squishy, but still quite strong.
And that was all after H82 Thrall got caught from the beginning of the fight. That's the thing about Stitches. When you're in the team fight, Stitches can't really do much during the team fight, so to say, other than tanking in the front line, just getting picks at the later stages when you're winning a team fight or losing a team fight to just have a friendly hook to save your team.
Gorge is not really, a team fight heroic. It's a pick heroic. He also went fishing hook, which I can respect here because he knows that this is the kind of Stitches he's going to be here. He wants to get these picks. It's really unfortunate. Look at that fishing hook. He's just out of range of it. It's really unfortunate for BlossoM they didn't get that keep because the late game for Raven, I think, is stronger in many different ways. And because Nazebo gets stronger, right? So does Fall Step, but Nazebo gets a larger health pool. Stitches, only if he gets picks is strong in the late game. In the late game, if he gets a kill, it's like 1 minute plus death timer, right? But if he doesn't, it's going to be hard to win team fights. And if you get wiped, that's a problem. There's the kill into the keep. They needed that so badly because that's going to eventually force a timer onto Raven in this game. Oh, good hit here into the gorge. And this keep, or rather fort, is still alive. So H82 gets cleansed, barely gets out of there.
Yep, and that root was used right before that hook was gone, so Sissy did not connect. And also, it seemed like they didn't have enough damage without Tutu at the moment. And Diong trying to harass the front line. No Chat does get significant amount of damage. And H82 also very low. Palm does not connect. It looks like it's not gonna go connect.
Now, big sundering here for the retreat as well. The Gargantuan is actually doing quite a bit of damage. They're going to try to turn onto this. This is not going to work out. Big Twilight Dream catches Joju. Diong is low here already. NMX trying to do what he can to help him retreat as Zarya is dead. No Chat gets the kill. Here's the hook into the root. And Ice Block is able to buy NMX some time. Wants to get the kill to Scarlet, but he's got Ice Block. And that 4-man should spell the end of this game. It took them a while there. They had a few, I'm going to say sloppy, scrappy fights there. It was a little bit worrisome for BlossoM at the last few team fights, but finally they get the fight they wanted, and they are just going to march down to the core. 5 seconds left for Joju, and they have a minion wave here, but I still think there's just too much damage for BlossoM. They have the 3-level scaling advantage, and Judy is just going to continue to help block anyone that comes out.
Yep, No Chat still has that gust available, and just use that gust to just secure the kill onto the core. And there goes game number 3 going to Team BlossoM, as this is their first win with the sponsor's name.
That's right. They blossomed into their first victory here and put them at 1-4 with a 5-12 map score and a -7, and this puts Raven at 0-5 and -15 in map scores. 15-game losing streak. That is not where you want to be. These guys need to tighten up their play, and that's why we have the Crucible. That's why we have this system at HGC. You can't just qualify and never win a game. Like, their spot is now up for contention. Yep. And they may be knocked out of our Pro League here.
That is the story for Raven, but talking about Spring Mixtape, who is now BlossoM. If GG loses to MVP Black, which is coming up right after 3-0, they tie exactly with the game points also. So that looks very hopeful for Team BlossoM at the moment.
Yeah, definitely true. Today, guys, special treat, a little secret we didn't tell you guys about earlier. We're actually going to have some interviews starting today with the players live here in the studio because we got all these guys down here, so I get the cool camera shots and whatnot. Now you're going to get to see them talk about how they feel about the matches. So we'll have that coming up in just a few minutes. After every series, we'll have a player chosen, like the MVP, if you will, going to get interviewed. So if you have